If you examine generally any organization, you find a wide variety of personalities. But within this wide variety, we can often categorize two different types of people. The type A person and the not so type A person. The person who's meticulous and organized and likes things on a schedule and is very routine, likes to plan, likes to be the doer, likes to be working and accomplishing a certain amount of tasks. You know, they generally have the checklist with the checkbox. They can line things out. These are the people that have a nail where they hang their key when they get home so that they can always find it. And then you have the other kind of person. These are the ones who are very ebb and flow with the changes that are happening. They tend to be relaxed, easygoing. Schedules are not really their thing. They're contemplative. They are meditative. Sometimes these people are very artsy. There's just two different kinds of personalities within an organization. And the same is very true in the church. You go to any particular church on a Sunday during a Sunday gathering and you will find all kinds of different people, but still able to be lumped generally into two types of people. You'll see those that are doing the work, and they'll be doing checklist boxes, and they'll be making the coffee and setting chairs and holding the doors open and signing up for things and putting tape with their name on them on serving dishes when they bring food. They're very organized, they're very meticulous, and they're very detailed. Often in church, these people tend to be the doers. They are signing up for things. They're even making the sign-up lists. On the flip side of that, we see people that are coming before Jesus in a very relaxed, meditative, ebb and flow kind of way. They're sometimes more artsy. They see the beauty in things rather than the accomplishment and checking off something that's done on a list. These are the kinds of people we tend to see in church. Now, both are very much needed, both are very much appreciated, and both are honoring God with their different skills and talents and their approaches to Jesus. This is also very true between two sisters, Mary and Martha. Now, Luke records an account of Mary and Martha. These were two women who lived in a village in Bethany in a home together, it seems. They were Lazarus' sister, who Jesus raised from the dead. They tended to be around Jesus a little bit more than some of the others, maybe because there was a friendship there. Now, Luke 10:38 records one of these accounts when Mary and Martha have come in to an encounter with Jesus. It goes like this. Now, as they were on their way, Jesus entered a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to his teaching. But Martha was distracted with much serving. And she went up to him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Tell her to help me. But the Lord answered her, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things. But one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken away from her. Now, the commentators will have a variety of approaches to this particular passage. They tend to not agree exactly what the good thing is, or who was exactly in the right or who was exactly in the wrong. But one thing is definitely certain that we can see from this passage, and as we see these two personalities from John and other accounts that were recorded, we find that Martha was definitely a doer. She was probably organized, a list maker. She was that personality, and Mary was probably the other personality. You know, she was very much a worshiper. Martha honored Jesus as a guest. Mary honored Jesus as a teacher. Martha was serving Jesus, and that was her encounter with him. She was growing and learning through that, and Mary was sitting at his feet, learning directly from his teaching. Now, it's not to say that Martha was never sitting at Jesus' feet, or Mary was never serving, but at this particular instance, that's how it seemed, and you can see from their personality types that seems to be how they generally operated. However, Martha clearly wanted Mary to be serving and worshiping and operating with Jesus in a way just like she did. And so she was very worried about what Mary was doing, and she was very worried about the things around her, and so she wasn't serving Jesus with great joy. Instead, she wanted Mary to sign up on a list, take a schedule, bring a dish, work in children's ministry, teach a class, host a community group. She wanted Mary to be doing the work. Whatever the case, at that point in time, it seems that Jesus needed Mary sitting at his feet, learning. Mary was in a season where she was learning and growing and maybe not serving. And maybe this happens in the church sometimes. Now, there are also times when Mary does need to serve. That the Marys of this world, if that's you, do need to feed the sheep, help the body, serve, do dishes, do something. We learn and grow through that as well. The church needs it. It helps us to operate well. But if you're a Martha, sometimes you might need to take a break. You need to be a Mary for a little bit. You need to be contemplative, meditative. You need to be worshiping and in a prayer life and just simply sitting at the feet of Jesus and not doing and not handling the details. There is a fine balance in the church between the Marys and the Marthas. Sometimes you're a Mary, sometimes you're a Martha, sometimes you're more one than the other, and that's just your personality, and that's okay. That's how God created us. But we need to recognize that people are wired differently and created differently and in different seasons of their life. So the question is, if you're a Martha, is there a time when you might want to look at being a little more like Mary? And are you worried about the Marys? And if you're a Mary, maybe are there some places where you can serve and grow and learn in Jesus through some of that service? It's really important that we find a balance. So I want to encourage you to be looking for the balance.